Hello, guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is my Madridista channel where I speak about Real Madrid and also European football in general. I'd love to talk to you, Real Madrid fans, but if you are a fan of a different team, even Barcelona fans or Atletico fans, if you are one of the top five league fan, for example, the Premier League. Serie A and so on and so forth. I'd love to chat with you, and I love to listen to kind of content that you would like me to do here. And yeah, so I'm going to analyze the loss, the terrible loss that we had in the small derby against Getafe yesterday. I needed some time to digest it. I watched another extended version of the game. It's a short version, but it's an extended short version. So what I have to say, first of all, that in the beginning, Vinicius had a really, really good um, situation there. After the ball to Gonzalo, obviously, that he really kicked it really, really bad. But Vinicius actually kicked on goal. And what do you see when you see it very, very slowly from the angle that is close to the leg of the goalkeeper is that it was an incredible save by the goalkeeper. He didn't miss the ball like we thought. It was an incredible save. Later, there was another great attempt and by the way, Vinicius had an okay game. The first half, he was really creative. He was playing in the middle. Then in the second half, he was transferred somehow to the flank, but he didn't have enough people to give the ball to. And when he did, Getafe defended so deep that it was really, really hard for him to find good areas. So we remember in the time of Xavi Alonso that there weren't enough players on the flanks delivering good balls, especially because Trent Alexander-Arnold spent most of this time being injured, obviously. But also it was a problem. But what we did see, we saw a much better and improved number 9 position as Mbappe, which right now obviously is not available because he's injured. But we did see the number 9 position being much more developed. And now we keep seeing that the number 9 has a lot of roles. If it's Vinicius, then he's playing here, then he's going to the flank, which this is Vinicius' game, right? He does that anyway. You got Garcia emulating everything that happened with Mbappe. We think that he's not fit. We think that he's not very sharp. Something is going on over him, but he's clearly getting the instructions from Arbeloa to do a lot of different things and not to be in the center, right? To go down a little bit, to help in creating the game, to help creating the situations, the balls that supposed to get to the player that is in number 9, and then he doesn't get to those dangerous places. I'm not stating that he's not injured. Obviously, he was injured and he is injured, and now he needs to recover fully. What did they didn't do, and I spoke about it in the last video, they didn't recover well Mbappe. They let him play too many minutes, and he should have rested more, and this is what happens when you don't do that. Now, we also have Garcia that had a terrible game yesterday, but it's hard to blame him because he's always moving to the sides, trying to be like a Benzema, kind of like a modern, moving kind of central forward, trying to help create the positions for other players. But there is no other players. There is Goulet that can only dribble inside. If he doesn't dribble inside, he's not in the dangerous area. A lot of the time, he goes to the 50-50 position, back where he's like number 6 or number 8, depends on which stage of the game you are on. And then you have Valverde that, I mean, he was dealing so much in the midfield and trying to create for others. And I don't know, I can't even assess his game because I don't think that he influenced enough. But for sure, Vinicius should have scored. If he would have scored, it would have been a different ball game, guys. And then you also had the thing with Alaba that was taken out. Obviously, you don't want to risk him, but you bring in Hausen. And Hausen, I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what to say of him because he had some really good games, right? But half of his games, he has some either he's playing mediocre or he has some terrible mistake. So I don't know what to say about him. You can't keep saying I'm just a 20-year-old. I got from another league, and so on and so forth. You have to produce. You are a player of the 11. He is today considered the number one defender, center defender between all the defenders, right? Him and in theory Militao, that is obviously too many times have been injured, and I'm not sure he can go back to his best. But that's a different like we need to speak about this in a different clip when he'll get back from injury. So yeah, maybe there was no reason to take Alaba out. Alaba can also come a little bit forward, try to kick free balls, take free kicks, deliver good balls. So he's very, very intelligent. Whereas Hausen, I maybe scored one header. I don't know. He's not very dangerous. Also, Rudiger, not a good enough game. Not a good enough game. He wasn't dominant enough, not in defense and especially not in attack. In the 75th minute, he had a clear chance. He should have scored. That's it. You should score, you know. And then the whole game would have looked differently again. Then we had Franco Mastantuono trying, for 25 minutes he tried, but then he got that beef with the referee that really should have been a little bit more understanding. We are talking about an 18 or a 19-year-old, first time in the league, coming from Argentina, where they can speak a lot more and they can stay their mind a lot more than in La Liga. Warn him, give him a serious warning. Come to him like Colina used to do. Do you remember the referee Colina from the 2000s? And just give like big crazy eyes and say stop talking, and then he would understand. And then if he keeps talking, if he's saying another thing, all right, give him the red card. But not like that. He was saying something, he was trying to explain something, and he wasn't patient. He said, he turned to him. If you see the rerun, he turned to him and he said, I'm going to show you a yellow card, and then just pulled out the yellow card. He didn't even wait until there will be a reaction. So I'm not trying to justify what Masta did, because Franco obviously did the wrong thing for his team. He should have been there to try and score, to try and I don't know, assist, to give a key pass, do something positive. So yeah, it was just a preposterous game. The worst thing is that Arbeloa doesn't have control over his players. He started out for a month. He was trying this system where everybody automatically shifts places with one another, right? Now, if you do that just between two players, this can work great. But once you give it to all the players, they don't know their key positions, and then when they need to go back to defense, they defense in aerial instead of like specific defense, and nobody's in their key position, and everything is going, to loss. Everything is like completely messed up, and there is nobody knows how to defend very well, and everything is very sporadic. And obviously that's the reason of some of our losses. So he changed that, and the last 3 weeks he started playing more of the diamond position, same players, keeping them in the same positions, doesn't let rest to enough to players. All his players starting to get injuries one after the other, and he still doesn't seem to get the point that you need to rotate a little bit more. And now the players, they don't know how to play in the position because they're not trained to it. So this was a mess yesterday. You saw a team with no leader, a team with no control. Before I'm going to go to Arbeloa and read some of the stuff that he said yesterday, which are preposterous, obviously, I want to share a moment about Rodrigo. Rodrigo is injured, and let me read what that Marcus said. Some of what that Marcus said about his injury. Just a second, guys. Let me just adjust it here, just a little bit, so I can read it clearly and not miss out on words. The worst fears have been confirmed. Rodrigo Goes has torn the anterior crucial ligament in his right knee and will miss the rest of the season with Real Madrid and the World Cup. So even with Ancelotti, he's not going to be with him. I was really expecting to see Brazil under Ancelotti. Obviously, we're not going to see that. We're going to have to see Brazil without him, and the Real Madrid, which is even more concerning. The Brazilian star underwent medical, and just to determine the length of his injury, and then it turned out to be the worst, and it's devastating for both the player and the club. Real Madrid and the Brazilian national team, obviously. So there was a moment there that he was playing. He got in after a long time injury. He was injured for like a month, and then he came in the 54th minute, and he really tried to give his best. Right? He really tried to play and he tried to give everything. But then there was like this player hitting him or something, and I believe this might have been the moment that has made this injury. It's the worst news. Now we got Endrick in Lyon. Mastantuono will have to play a lot more. We will have to build on him more, and we have to start playing with with three players up front. We're playing with two. We're wasting this position. We're playing with too many defensive midfielders. They're stepping on one another. They're not creating to one another. Everything is like getting lost in translation in the middle of the park. You know, Alvaro Arbeloa had that to say. He said, "We still have 12 more games or 36 more points. We want to fight and to get all of them. Nobody here is going to throw the towel. We never give up because we are Real Madrid. Um, we had clearer chances than Getafe. Obviously, the game where we can do things better, but it's also a game where we competed and had significantly more clear chances than they did. He's talking about the chances that Rudiger had, that Rodrigo had. There was also the Arda Güler one, and obviously, if Vinicius would have scored, and this wouldn't have been an incredible save in the edge of the leg, in like the little fingers of the leg by the goalkeeper, we would have had a different game. But it was what it was. You can't take nothing away from this. This is his feelings. We have 36 points to play. I know that after a defeat like the one we had today, things can look very bleak. There isn't much hope, or you lose when you lose like that. But that has to be our objective. We have a very difficult match in Vigo, and we have to go there and win, and so on and so forth. Then he has, of course, the Champions League against Manchester City, which right now I don't know how it's going to go. Is it going to be 4-0 all over again? Are they going to thrash us? Are they going to make a joke out of us in the last 16, which is not the stage where you want to see Real Madrid at? You want to see them. You want to see the Blancos at least in quarterfinal, or if they can be in the semifinals or the finals. They're a contender every single year. It's the biggest name in Europe. Turning things around, I see that we have great players, a great squad, and players who are going to recover, who will help us a lot. All right, so basically saying Mbappe is going to come back and he's going to play a lot better, and he's going to give us the goals that we need, and we'll be fine. That's what basically he's saying. Um, all right, with Dean Alaba had a slight strain at halftime. Well, all right, if he had a strain, I mean, you have to put your next best player, and obviously Hausen is supposed to be like a staple starter, right? He should be a starter. So giving him those minutes is okay. It's just that he wasn't very good. So yeah, guys, I don't have much more to say. I'd love for you to subscribe and give a like, share the content with your friends. I'd love for you to come here again and to write to me in the comments. What kind of content do you want to see? Do you want to see more content about Manchester United, maybe? I know that I have Manchester United fans in the crowd. Maybe you'd like something else. Maybe you'd like me to analyze like older games, or you want me to talk about like some the historic figures, which I'm going to do. By the way, I want to talk about the history of football. This will be like a special series, and it will be happening a little bit later on. And yeah, I thank you so much for being here. And let me know what you want to watch here, so it can be more for you, for example. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.